Richard Carney. I am the creative director of Rock Media, which is the media division of Plymouth Rock Studios and Rock Entertainment.
And how long have you worked here for?
I've worked here for over a year now, probably about 15 months or so.
Were you working in this field before you came here?
Yeah, previously I was the head of video content for unsignartist.com, which was a social networking site for independent musicians and to connect them with industry contacts so they could kind of do a do-it-yourself sort of way of touring and selling your own merchandise and your records online.
That's really interesting. How long were you doing that for?
I was doing that for about a year as well. I also had been doing a master's program at Boston University where I'm actually also have a part-time job where I'm a professor, an adjunct professor in the film and television department.
Oh, that's terrific. Now tell me a little bit about the webisodes that they have on.
Well, the webisodes are called The Series, Plymouth Rock Studios. We started them back in January.
Okay.
It's our attempt at doing something that really hasn't been done before, which is almost a real-time documentary, cataloging exactly what we're doing and giving to the world on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. The turnaround time on these things is ridiculous. We film what's going on. In some cases, we're putting it online the very next day. So it gives people an opportunity to interact with the studio, since it won't be built for a little bit of time. People really want to get connected to it, and I've had a lot of people come to me since the series launched and say, the studio finally feels real to me now, because you're getting to see the face of people's way to engage, and the community has kind of risen up around that. We ended up going with the social networking site as the format, HollywoodEastTV.com, to sort of launch the series and other web videos we were doing. And it just made sense, the platform, to have people be able to set up their profiles and upload their photos and their videos, because so many people want us to see all of their stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it gave them an opportunity to sort of, and for us it's an opportunity to sort of see some talent and what's out in the area. And we passed our 7,000th registered member over the last weekend. And that means those are 7,000 people who have created profiles, upload their content, and leave comments and stuff. There's many, many more people that come to the site and watch the videos. These people have actually registered and joined the site as members.
That's good. So I have to ask you the question that goes from that. Have you discovered any talent that have actually ended up working here from that yet?
There's been interns who, it was funny, we'd seen their content, we thought it was good, and they ended up coming in through somebody else, and somebody who worked here said, "You think that's good? I know that person." And then the person ended up coming in here and creating some stuff for us, doing some graphic design.
Will this series continue even after, the studio's up and running?
Absolutely. The series will continue probably in a larger form than it even is right now. I think the idea of documenting the building of the studio, because right now, we try our best to make it as compelling as possible, but after a while doing town meetings over and over again and planning more meetings and stuff, we do spoofs, we do all sorts of stuff to try to keep it funny and light. But the really exciting stuff people are going to want to see is the actual, tractors out there building the studio and all the different equipment and all that. And then obviously when it's open as well, seeing what's going on the backlot, what's going on in the office buildings, what's going on in the commissary, wherever it is, life behind the scenes at the studio. And I think there's probably a much larger opportunity there, perhaps even for a hour-long television program at some point that's along the same idea.
That's good. And I actually just learned from Bob Melly that he's actually planning to maybe start building process in about a month. So that's going to be coming along pretty quickly. People will be seeing these.
I'm going to have a lot of camera people out there with hard hats on.
A lot of the comments that are being left are by people who even live out in Los Angeles. They work in the film industry. They want to come back here. Do you see opportunities for them as well?
Absolutely. The studio is going to create somewhere between, I think, 2,000 and 3,000 jobs with that. One misconception some people have is when they send us their resumes, that sort of stuff, is a lot of the jobs that are specifically the jobs I think you're talking about, which is working on set in productions like that.
Right.
A lot of those are more controlled by the production companies that will be shooting the productions at the studio. We do have our own plans to do productions. The vast majority of those jobs, by their very nature, will be created by the production companies coming to the state. We will do our best. We've already begun it through the site in different ways to be able to catalog that talent in the area, and that's a lot of what Rock Educational Cooperative is trying to do as well, in order to facilitate that happening for people. But in general, in the short term, there's no, if you want to be a grip and work on a movie set, wouldn't be a job you'd want here right now, because that's not what we're doing. You'd want to be more in contact with the production companies who are already coming here and filming to take advantage of the state's tax credit.
Are you finding the people in the series that you have right now on the web, are you finding that there's any that people seem to be migrating, any little stars that are being developed from the series?
Of the people who work here?
Yeah.
Besides myself?
Well, there was one I saw who was very good. I thought he was hilarious. I think it's Steve Madden.
Steve Madden. Steve Madden is very funny, yes.
Yeah,
Steve Madden is our animator here. He's extremely talented. Yeah, Steve Madden is pretty funny in quite a number of the videos. Last summer, actually, we had our first summer of the Internship Program here. And these videos didn't get as much bounce necessarily as the series. There's lots of people seeing them because we didn't have a whole subscription thing going. But we did some intern vlogs, what they were called, which were all, we had all the different interns make videos about themselves, and Steve exposed himself very quickly as one of the funniest people around here in those.
He was. I did watch a couple of his, and I thought they were really funny. It reminded me of like a Saturday Night Live skit. It really did. I thought it was
that's our whole thing. I mean, there's the series, and then a lot of the stuff we've done with Neil Cicierega, who had won the YouTube Award for Best Comedy of the Year. He created the Potter Puppet Pal series. Neil and his cohorts, Ryan Murphy and Kevin James, they do a series of videos at the site called New Kids on the Rock, which is kind of, they call it a live-action cartoon. Actually, that's the tagline. But yeah, the idea is that there are 3 South Shore web filmmakers who get hired by a studio to make these ridiculous videos. So it's sort of real, but it's very surreal. But yeah, they do a lot of comedy. It's very much based in the sketch and variety show sort of discipline.
When people outside of here hear where you work, what's the number one question you get?
Are they hiring is a big one.
Right, and what do you usually say to that?
I usually give the exact explanation I gave before about an understanding of studio operations versus film production.
Right.
And there's different resources within the area to make yourself known as somebody who wants to be working as a production assistant on productions, or you would contact IATSE or whatever union, or go to college, go to a program or a certificate program. There's so many different educational opportunities in Massachusetts to get involved.
And I've already met 2 of the people who work here, Curry College, Northeastern University.
Yeah.
How about you? Where were you?
I went to graduate school at Boston University.
Boston University. Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.